turn my phone off. Hey everybody, Scott Hudspeth here with Agent Mastermind, and I have my compadre, partner, just kind of my right leg, left leg, and all that stuff with me. Paul Baxter, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic, Scotty. Another day in paradise, my friend. I woke up and thought to myself, I'm cold today because it was like 68 outside here in Florida, and that to me is it's cold. It's cold.
It's cold. Well, I was in the 40s today, so just to let you know, it was 30s the other day. So I tell you, it feels good. We still sleep with the windows open, man, even when in the 30s. Isn't that amazing?
That's just crazy.
I know you can't comprehend that stuff, but
no, the heater would be on.
Yeah, the heater would be on. So what I'm talking about today is something that is very, I don't know, it was hard for me. I mean, I think, Carl White's my partner, my brother in crime, and he worked with me for a year, I think, and it took me a good year. So I'm not saying this is going to happen overnight. Some people faster than others, but he says, you got to stop listening to that little guy on your shoulder that says you can't do this or you can't do that. And that's the hardest thing because it's one thing to start it, it's another thing to implement it, it's another thing to have it going and get it going. But then you go, man, you know what? This isn't working. I'm not going to do it. This little guy on your shoulder says, you know what? What are you doing, stupid? Get back to what you were doing. Get back to what you're comfortable with. Get back, fly back into that cage and do what you know is comfortable. That's inside your comfort zone, not outside your comfort zone. Would you agree with that, Paul?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm just going to talk about this little guy on our shoulder, and we're going to talk about that. But first I want to say that this guy was a huge inspiration to me. I think it happened around the same time where I had this presentation that I'm giving you today, and also I listened to this guy, Gary Vaynerchuk. If you've never listened to him, buy the audio. If you have, if you want, get the book. If you like to hold up, a physical copy. But man, I tell you, the audio he goes off script. I don't know if you've listened to this, Paul, but this, along with this presentation, kind of goes hand in hand, where it pretty much says, you know what, you can do anything you want as long as you set your mind to it, but also put the right team in place to make it happen. This guy started a marketing company. I don't know if you know this, Paul, but he's up to 170 strong, 170 employees.
Wow.
And he hasn't been at it that long. So I just wanted to share that with you. If you haven't read this yet, amazing, amazing, amazing book. Buy the audio. It's on, I think, audible.com and stuff like that, but real cheap, $12. Listen to it while you're going down the road or while you're working out. I tell you, it gives me inspiration. I've listened to it 2 or 3 times, and every time I go on a flight, I pop it in just to get a little motivation going. This is a strong deal. So how do you increase your income by 158% and only work 1 hour and 36 minutes per day? And the answer will shock you. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but for the most part, we all work an 8-hour day, right, Paul?
Yep.
I mean, for the most of us. I mean, some of us work 10,
that's
12,
the average.
hours, but
the American average is 8 hours.
8 hours. We punch the clock, we go in at 8, we get out at 5, and it's 8 hours. Now, whoever said that what we do takes 8 hours a day, right? Some of us can do this in 2 hours, 4 hours, if all we do is focus on certain things that are going to make us the most amount of money, and then we go home, enjoy family, and do whatever sports we like to do. But I'm going to show you how to remove what I call the rat race and focus on literally 3 things that if you don't do them, we're going to kind of talk about. If you don't do these 3 things, you'll be out of business in 90 days. All right? Sound good? So who are you to tell me, right? Well, I just want to share with you, and Paul, you know this, but I run 1, 2, 3, and husband, father is not a business.
Yeah, those are the most important things.
That's why I got them on top. LOFA is a business. AMM is a business. REMA is a business. FMC is a business. Mortgage business. MMA is a business. And S&P is a business. So I run all these businesses every single day. So when somebody calls me, it depends on which hat I put on. So there's no way in heck, and Paul, you know this, I could not run all of these things and do all of these things if I didn't have a team in place of people that helped me with each one of these, okay? So, and it's kind of funny. I had an agent come in today. He was actually an agent/builder, and he came in. I said, hey, you should have, and I always love doing this to people. I said, you should have your assistant come in and sit in on the class today. He goes, well, you're looking at the assistant. I go, and Todd, that is your problem. I said, you can only be in one place at one time. You can only do so much. You can only do, and not only that, I've consistently running all these businesses have made a high six-figure income doing it. So I just wanted to share that with you. And if I can do it, I got to tell you, I'm no one special. I just do special things, and I love this picture. What do you think? No excuses?
I like
this
it.
This guy doesn't have any excuses, doesn't he?
He'll get it up. He'll get it up.
He'll get it up. Might take him a couple years, but he'll get it up. All right, so next picture is going to be with him holding it up in the air. That's the next one. All right. So what is the one thing? What is the one thing that if you do it, you will be successful? And it's the thing that, and I'm just going to go to the next screen here, doesn't make you looking like this guy. I mean, let's be honest. Do most of us, and this used to be me, trust me on this, and it's still hard for me to remove some of the, I had this discussion this morning with my partner, Vicky. It's like, Vicky, we have somebody to do that now. We shouldn't be having this conversation. She should be doing that, and like that should be her job now, right? So how good can you be if you play all these instruments?
That's
right?
where it gets a little bit difficult. You know, you're good at all, but a master of none is the way that a lot of people term that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm going to talk about something that's called Paretos Law of distribution. 80% of the wealth is produced and possessed by only 20% of the population. Now, this may not be a secret to you, but, and I'm telling you, think about this and sit there and literally take this in. Don't take notes, but go, all right, I'm going to take one step towards making this happen in my business. It's got to be hard. I'm telling you, it's the hardest thing you'll ever do is to let go of something. And Paul and I will talk more about it. So ratio is often more severe. So it's not uncommon to see like a 90-10. So like most people will focus on the 90% of their business that's making them 10% of their money. Some people will focus on 95 and 5. What we're going to choose is try and flip those numbers. So in some, like Bill Gates, like think about Bill Gates. You think he focuses on the 1% that's making him 99% of the money? Absolutely. So we want to make sure these numbers are reversed. One is you're focusing on the 99%, or excuse me, the 1% that's making you 99% of the money. But we're going to just go, all right, let's focus on the 20% that's making you 99% of the money, all right? So and this is like something you have to ask yourself. And it's not like you ask yourself once and go, okay, I got it. You do this every 90 days because as your business grows, things change, right, Paul?
Yep.
I mean, as things happen, you have to readjust. You may have to put more people in place, stuff like that. But you have to go, okay, now that I got my 20 of my 80, like which 20% of your sources are causing you 80% of your problems and unhappiness? And this is real easy. Usually within the first 15 minutes of me meeting with an agent, I can literally write down on a piece of paper the things that if I was to remove those from their business, they would literally have an amazing life every single day, right? Would you all agree with that?
Yeah, and so if you recap the numbers that we just saw, you know, statistically, 80%, 80% of the money is being made by 20% of the people in their businesses. 80% of a business's money is being made by 20% of the things that are happening in that business to make it operate. Some businesses, like you showed, have been able to effectively make those numbers be more like 90-10, 95-5, and a company like iPhone or Bill Gates is able to focus on 1% of the thing that makes him 99% of the money, and he lets other people deal with the other 99% of the things that don't generate his money. The support, if you think about it in terms of what this means to Apple, Scott, it means that Bill Gates can focus on developing these great products, these newer things, these new Windows applications that are coming out day after day after day, and he can let the other people in his business worry about, my Windows XP doesn't work any longer with Windows Live Movie Maker or whatever the case may be.
It's like does the owner of United's fly the plane? No, he put a business plan in place, and he says, okay, we need these people to run the business. We need these people to do this. We need these people to work on it. We need these people. So, it just kind of goes down the line. So,
well, and what that means is that 80% of your business, 80% of what you're doing in your business is only making you 20% of your money.
Absolutely. And you have to, if you really look closely at what you're doing, you'll find it may not be 80-20. You may not be focusing on the 80 that makes you 20, but it may be 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, and we're going to help you switch that. And it's really easy to do, but it's also hard to do, okay? And like Paul said at the beginning of the call, you have to be honest with yourself. So let's just keep going with this. And what do you like doing? So I'm gonna draw a little picture here for you guys. 3 circles, okay? Now let me just grab my little pin here. And now this is when I seen this, I'm like, oh my God. And then I met with one of the companies I'm working with now, and they literally got out these 3 circles, and I'm like, all right, you don't need to go anymore. We're on the same page. We get it. So the first circle is I love doing it. All right. I love doing this, and it keeps me up. It keeps me up at night, gets me up in the morning. It makes me money, and I'm good at it. All right. Now we all have what we're good at. We all have what we're not so good at. So 1, I'm good at playing tennis. I think I love playing tennis, but does it make me any money, Paul?
No, unfortunately,
no. Okay,
it doesn't.
But you still have to have that in your life. So I love going out on boat rides. I'm good at it because I'm great at driving the boat, but it just doesn't make me any money, right? So when you put all these together, literally, and we're going to give you an exercise to do this, and it all fits inside this circle. I love doing it. I love talking to clients. I'm really good at building relationships when I talk to clients. And once I build a relationship and meet new clients, it makes me money because they send me their friends, family, and coworkers, okay? And that fits inside this little circle.
Now, I know this seems so simple to everyone on the call, but I will tell you, when you start to do this exercise, it gets a little bit difficult to be honest about yourself, about the things that you love and about the things that you're good at. It may make you money, but you may not love to do it. So it doesn't get to go in the center. It doesn't. Just because it makes you money, if you don't love it, it doesn't get to go in this. There may be something that makes you money, and you would love to do it, but you're really not that good at it, to be frank with yourself. And you have to be honest with yourself. And if that's the case, it doesn't get to make it to the circle. That's the hard part, Scott.
You know what? I'm so glad you brought that up. So it makes me money, and I'm really good at it, but I freaking hate it. That's called burnout. You will, and I don't care how much money you're making, you will burn out, okay? So you have to really be strict on yourself and say, okay, what puts me in the middle, and I love it, and I'm good at it, and it makes me money, and that's okay. So we'll move on from there. So everybody gets that point right there, all right? All right. So another guy, this guy is amazing, Brian Tracy. He wrote this book. He says, Eat That Frog, okay? I refuse to eat frogs anymore. I literally refuse to eat frogs. When I say that, is what Brian Tracy said, and he's a brilliant guy, makes millions and millions of dollars. He knows what he's talking about, but he missed one key point that I didn't agree with, and that is, he says, when you first get up in the morning, do whatever you hate to do, going back to this right here, do whatever you hate to do that makes you money that you're good at, get it out of the way first thing in the morning, then the rest of your day is perfect, right? Well, here's the thing with that. Certain people like to eat different frogs. Like some people don't like to meet with clients. Some people don't like to talk on the phone. My wife, she refuses to talk on the phone to people. She can't do it. So why would I put her in that position? She hates it. Even if I said, you know what, for every phone call you make and for every 15 minutes you're going to be on the call, it's going to make you $1,000. She would do it, but she would freaking hate it, right? So Brian Tracy says, eat that frog. Well, I refuse to eat the frog. I'm going to hire somebody to eat that frog so I never have to eat a frog again. Has anybody read this book? Good book, by the way. 21 Ways to Stop Procrastinating and Get More Done in Less Time, which is just get the crap out of the way in the morning, and then the rest of your day is good. So every single morning, it's like, no, I'm going to hire somebody to eat that frog for me, all right? I don't eat frogs anymore. We refuse, and that's just part of our pack. It's like Carl and I and our team members, we find people that like to eat the frogs that we don't like to eat, right? It's just that simple. All right, here's another one that I hear all the time. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to do this for 5 more years, and then I'm going to retire. I'm going to do this for 5 more years, and then I'm going to go do something I really love. Why is that? 5 years, guys. You got a calculator? 5 years times 365 days. That's 1,825 days that you cannot get back. If you don't like what you do, find something that goes back to those 3 circles that you're good at, makes you money, and you love doing. I'm telling you, if you follow that dream, you may not make like a boatload of money, but man, you're going to be so happy doing it. And most of the time, if you are passionate about it, and if you read that book or listen to that book called Crush It, he pretty much says no matter what it is, whatever you love and you're good at it, and it will bring the money with you, especially with social media in today's world. I mean, the stuff that people make money on nowadays, it just blows me away. So if you want one of these cards, I'll give you one, and I'll send it to you. Just get out of if you're not happy, just go do something you want, okay? Okay, so here's how to. You remember I said 158%. You know, if I said 160, you'd be like, whatever. So I did the 158 just because it's more appealing. So what if I work 1 hour and 36 minutes a day, and I work on the 20% that is making me 80% of my money? All right. So this is the 20% right here, and it's making me 80% of my money. So I'm working 1 hour and 36 minutes, and I'm telling you, if you remove, and we're going to do an exercise here in just a second, that's going to help you remove all this stuff, and I farm it out, or I have somebody else eat that frog of this other 80%, right? What if I do it again? What if I double this and work like 3 hours a day? All right. So now I work 3 hours a day, focusing on the 20% that I do, and I farm out the rest of the 80%. You think that I would double my business? I mean, I'm telling you, this will literally, if you do this exercise, and we're going to do this exercise here in just a second. So now I'm working 1 hour and 36 minutes times 2, and I'm doing 40%. That's making me 160% of my money. Is that crazy?
And that's,
I just doubled my.
well, that's how it works. That's how the 80-20 rule works.
Really how it works.
The hard part, again, you know, it's such a simple thing, and it honestly can change your life if you can figure out, if you can take an honest look at the things that you do on a daily basis, what your business day involves, figure out what that 20% of what you do in your business day is that makes you 80% of your money. If you can take an honest inventory of that and figure that out, this will work for you. And as Scott showed, this graphic clearly shows. Think about it. If you can do 20% of your daily work in an hour and a half, because you've eliminated 80% of the junk that doesn't make you any money, it's not fun for you, and quite frankly, you're not good at it. So you're only doing, that's 20% of your day is about an hour and a half, about, a little more. Double that. Now I can work for 4 hours a day, focusing on that thing that I love to do, that I'm really, really good at, and it makes me a lot of money, and I can double my income.
No question. No question.
I'm
Here's
in.
The thing. And here's seriously, if you take this thing seriously and you go, all right, I'm going to focus on the 20%, and we're going to, again, I keep saying it, I sound like a broken record. We're going to do a little exercise here in a second. But once you do the 20, you're going to go, okay, what's 20 of the 20? All right? What's 20 of the 20% that I'm doing? And then this becomes the 80%, right? And you can do it again. I mean, you can even go more and more to where you're working less and less, but doing more and more. But again, you're doing what you love, you're good at, and it's making you money.
Well, that first, each time you slice it, you go from 80-20 to 90-10.
No question.
And then you go to 95-5. And then you become that 1%. You're focusing on the 1% because the other 99%, you've got things, people, you've either eliminated them as being something that's not necessary in your business. And that's, Scott mentions, get somebody that's willing to eat your frog. Well, if I don't like phone calls, I find somebody that likes to have phone calls. Now I've got somebody that's enjoying eating my frog.
Yes. And
so
here's
you put
the thing.
things in place.
You put things in place. So what's our lesson? Are we doing something that we hate doing? And and each one of us can go, man, I hate doing this. I mean, every one of us has a list of 5 miles long. I hate doing this. I hear it every time I talk to somebody. It's like, I hate doing that. Well, why are you doing it? Why? Because I have to. Because no one does it as good as me. I do it better. What if somebody does it 80% as good as you? Is that good enough? Absolutely. And most of the time, I find out, once I let go, that they do it better than me. Because why? Because they don't mind doing it. They don't mind eating that frog. And I call it eating the frog, but it may be something else, right? Okay. So, are we doing work that a clerk or an assistant could be doing?
Yes.
Ask yourself that. Are we inventing tasks so that we can trick ourselves into thinking that we are being productive. This is the scary part. We call it creative avoidance. It's like when I start with somebody and I'm coaching them and I go, okay, so what are you doing today? Well, I'm working on my Facebook page. Okay. Well, did you call any referral partners today? No. Why? Well, I need to get this done first. Why? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, they find this busy work. It's so easy to find busy work, right? It's like really, really, really super simple. It's hard to actually pick up the phone and call somebody, foremost because they fear rejection. They fear that they may not answer the phone. What do I say? Or if they answer the phone, what do I say? Holy crap, what if they give me an objection and I can't answer it? Or what if I call a past borrower and they like don't say anything good to me, or they say something mean to me, or they're just like, I'm bugging them, or they don't remember me, or there's all these things going on in your head that you can, like, it's like that little guy on your shoulder. I mean, how many times? I mean, think about it, and you're gonna notice this, that as the days go on, you're gonna go, man, that little guy's on my shoulder again, and you need to just flick him off and go, I'm picking up the phone. I'm calling my past clients. I'm calling my listings that I have today, and I'm gonna let them know that, hey, I'm doing this, and this, and we'll let you know we got, and all this stuff's going on, even if it's not positive, because that negative phone call may be, you can turn into a positive, may get them to go, you know what, let's just lower the listing price down to what you originally said it was worth, and now we can get it. But if you keep talking to this guy on your shoulder going, I can't call that seller. I have nothing good to say to him. I can't call him because, man, if I call him, they may cancel the listing on me. This stuff is going on in their head. Trust me, I have it too. But you got to overcome the fear and go, okay, how do I turn this around as a positive and be productive with it, or have somebody else do it, and now I don't have to worry about it, right? I mean, that's the easy sample. So putting it into action, write down a list of items that you do every day. Now, this is the tough part. We always, when we do a live presentation, we bring people up on stage, and we go, okay, what do you do every day? Let's just make this list. Here's a huge list of stuff. So, and I'm sure a lot of us can relate to this. Check emails, make lunch, return calls, talk to clients with files already in progress, put out fires, lock loans, make sure hosting webinars, run DULP, calling leads, take applications, do monthly mailers, go to the post office, Office Depot, video marketing, bookkeeping, payroll, plan day, talk to underwriters, talk to sellers, talk to buyers, learn new loan programs, go to closings, calling, meeting new referral partners. We could probably add to the list, right?
That's a partial. I was getting ready to say, Scotty, that is a partial list. That's a partial list of the activities that you all do in a day. Correct. I mean, the reality is you could sit here and invent things that could be a list a mile long. This is where the hard
marketing on here.
Well, and this is where the video marketing, there's a little bit, and there's some talk about direct mailers and things like that. So there's a little bit of marketing going on there.
Yep. So here's what you got to do. Here's the tough part. Okay, Paul, help me out here. Pick one of these things that if you don't do them in the next 90 days, if you don't do it every day for the next 90 days, you're going to be out of business in 90 days. What's the one thing?
Just one. Just one thing. I'm only allowed to have one thing on here. Just one thing. Number one is? It's got to be return calls.
Okay, so we're going to pick return calls. And there's no right or wrong to this. There's no right or wrong. You're going to pick whatever you want to pick. So number one is return calls. So I'm going to put return calls. Okay, now, I'm not saying pick number two. I'm going to say pick another number one. So another number one is you get to pick one more. Pick one more that if you don't do it in the next 90 days, you're going to be out of business. If you don't make lunch, you'll be dead. But
the other would have to be calling leads.
Calling leads, okay. Awesome choice. So calling leads, so CL. And you know what? Just because you're a nice guy, and I love you, man, I'm going to give you one more. Now, it's not 1, 2, and 3. It's 1, 1, and 1. Now, your list is going to look different than ours. But what you need to do is, like for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, you need to write down every single thing you do every single day, all day long, and go, all right, I'm going to do these. And then if I do these 3 things, you want to pick one more, Paul?
Go to closings. I'll be out of business if I don't go to closings.
Okay, right here. Okay, awesome. So go to closings. So I'm going to go GC. All right, so I'm going to return calls, I'm going to call in leads, and I'm going to go to closings. Because at closings, I'm going to, again, further the relationship, whatever. So again, there's no right or wrong answer. Whichever it is for you, it's your choice. So the rest of this stuff, can I have somebody check my emails? Can I have somebody make my lunch? Can I have somebody talk to clients with files already in progress? Can I have somebody putting out fires for me? Just going to cross off. I mean, seriously. I mean, locking loans for mortgage people, but I mean, hosting webinars, do monthly mailers. Can I have somebody do that? Can I have somebody go to the post office for me? Can I have somebody edit my videos? Can I have somebody I have people do videos for me. Bookkeeping, payroll. Can I have somebody do that?
Sure.
Plan the day. Here's one thing about this is like plan the day. We try to plan the day, and we do this every day. If you plan the day and start the day with the end in mind, it's amazing what your day looks like. If you come in the morning and go, all right, I want to do this, 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 and this. I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. By the end of the day, I want these things to be done. It's amazing what the end of your day looks like because you know it's like you already have a goal in mind. But if you get up in the morning and you're like most, you grab your phone, and including myself, you grab your phone on the way to the shower, you're checking your emails, see what's on Facebook, and then boom, you jump in the shower. You're on your phone on the way to work talking to your first client or talking about whatever, and then you get to work and you're like in Facebook and you're in Twitter and LinkedIn and you're just having a good time and people are coming in going, hey, what about this, what about that, what about that? And then by the end of the day, you're like, whew, man, I'm busy, I'm tired, I'm going home. I'm going to go work out for a little bit and relax, right?
And got nothing done.
Does that sound typical?
Yeah.
And I got nothing done. I mean, there's days where, before I start doing this thing right here, there's days that I would go, like, to the end of the day and go, there was an email that I shrunk down because someone come in my office and said, hey, could you check this out? I check it out, and I shrink down the email that I was typing, and I never sent it, and I forgot that it was there, and I'm like, crap, I forgot to send that email response this morning, or forgot to send the sales agreement this morning, or forgot to send the approval letter over to the whatever. It's like, holy smokes. So that's where if somebody else is doing that and that's all they do, you can hold them accountable for it. And then once you trust them, it just stuff starts happening. And think about this, Paul. If all you did was return calls, call leads, and then go to closings,
I'd be very successful. I think because that's what I'm good at. I'm good at hey, I just wanted to follow. I'm a great follow-upper. I can follow up like nobody's business because and plus, I absolutely love to talk to people. My guess is that those three activities make me a lot of money because I'm following up on referrals. I'm following up on returning calls to people who have called me. If I'm in that business, there's only one reason they're calling me.
Absolutely.
That has something to do with the home purchase.
Couple things that you might want to add to this list, and I'm just trying to help you out with this. BNI, like BNI groups. We get so much business. I never knew how much business came from a BNI networking. Financial planners, guys, Paul, I haven't even told you this yet. We have a group of financial planners. Listen to this. This is sick. 12 financial planners. We're into this with financial planners, okay? And as a real estate agent, I'm telling you, this is an untapped, unbelievable strategy that is just off the charts. So 12 financial planners. There's one guy that's running the show. So he says, we're going to do this, and we're going to work with these to do it. And I'm going to help them. They're going to help me type of thing, the reciprocity type thing. We got our first lead this morning, 220,000. We just started this thing. So, there's 12 of them. So I can't wait in 90 days. So, guys, if you're not connecting with financial planners, we need to do a class on just, what to say, how to help, referral partners, like CPAs, financial planners, being part of a BNI group. I don't know. There's two people in my office that go. I don't go. I present at the BNI group, but I don't go to be a part of it. They go there, and they come back with leads every single week. Every week they have new leads coming in, all right? So there's a lot of business out there, but you need to make this list. Figure out, is it BNI one of your ones? Is financial planners one of your ones? And who can I put in place to help me with this? Who can I put in place to help me with this? Or do I just, it's at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm there at 7 and I'm home by 8:30. I'm at my office at 8:30. There's no time loss. But I'm in front of 20 different businesses that are not the same. I'm the only real estate agent there, and there's nobody else there. It's amazing the power. Not only that, you're building business relationships. I'm just saying because we do this stuff, it's so powerful. So if you're looking to, get more business, get more referrals, build more relationships, start thinking about some of the CPAs. I mean, there's all kinds of different things to do. So
hey, Scotty, a real good question from Anita is what does the acronym BNI stand for? I know what it is, but just in case people on the call aren't familiar with some of the networking groups that are out there, can you explain that?
Yeah, it's a Business Network International. It's funny, my wife asked me that last night, or I would have never known what the I was. I knew it was Business Network, but it's Business Network International. She goes, what does that stand for? I go, well, and what it is like you can start your own BNI group. It's like they're all over the world. And what it is you get businesses to meet with you once a week, and it's kind of like a referral type basis where you go in, you share who you are, what you do for a living, and these are the type of referrals that I expect. And then you, as a businesses, meet together and try and just more or less give referrals and help each other with business networking and marketing and social media. They had me come in and talk about social media, and now I'm working with them to grow their, like, here's what you should do on Facebook. I'm not doing it for them, but I'm giving them tips, like do this and do that and do this, or see these businesses. I teach them, listen, you like the pest inspection guy. He doesn't put Facebook pages together. You know what I'm saying? So you need to get an assistant to help you, or you need to hire this person, and I have a team in place. Here, this person will do it. It'll cost you a small amount of money, but if you spend time doing it, that's just time you can't spend growing your business, meeting with more realtor partners that are going to give you more pest inspections because now you have more purchase business. Does that make sense?
It absolutely does. There are a couple of questions, if you don't mind, real quick, Scotty. That it's the same question from James and Michael are asking pretty much the same question, and the question is the fear for all of this is the cost to pay someone else.
Absolutely.
And so the way I would answer that is the exercise that Scott has up on the cell currently, this requires zero investment from you at this particular time. It requires zero investment because what you're doing, the exercise is actually this. If you go in and you make a list of the things that you do on an everyday basis, and then you go into that list and you choose that one thing that if you didn't do it, you would be out of business. And then give yourself an opportunity to choose that of the list that's left, that one thing that if it doesn't get done, you are out of business. And then give yourself a third. Choose of the list that's left, pick that one thing that if you don't do it, you'll be out of business, and try it. Try it for 2 weeks. Just focus on that. The other stuff you will find are things that you were doing that are not as necessary as you thought they were. The exercise doesn't mean that you're putting aside your business. What you're doing is you're choosing the things that are most important in your business. You're basically narrowing down by doing this exercise. What you're doing in a roundabout way, not even a roundabout way, you're doing it without realizing is you're choosing what your 20% is right up front. You're choosing to focus on your 20%. You don't need to hire someone to get the other things done, to eat the other frogs. Not yet, until you see whether or not those, okay, this is definitely my 20%, but boy, I know that these 5 things right here still need to be getting done. That's okay.
Correct.
That's when you make a decision and do it slowly. What do you guys, Scott? I know you and Carl both started in a very similar way. And if you can explain how you guys started with growing your business with assistance when you started doing the 80-20 thing.
Absolutely, and I'm glad that's a great question. When I first started, I literally hired somebody, and I didn't hire him full time. And I, honest to God, I knew that I needed to do this, but I didn't have a plan of what she was going to do every single day. So I'm like, listen, I don't have a full-time position for you, and I just hired somebody 24 hours a week. She's probably on the call with us, and she's a college student, and I love her to death. She's awesome, great personality, but she's taken some stuff off of Vicky's plate and added some stuff that I wanted to do that I didn't have time for, and now she's working 24 hours a week, okay? There's people out there that will work 10 hours a week. They work 2 hours. You might find other people in your office. You have 10 people in your office. Now, I wouldn't recommend having one person work for other people. I would have them for yourself because it's like, okay, which one is my master? Which one do I, like if 5 people come at me at one time, which one do I favor? Because they're all paying me, right?
Inevitably, also a project. inevitably a project comes up also that, you've got a time on it, the other person does as well. Who do they choose to do first? And one of you is going to get upset when they choose the wrong one first.
So what if you hired somebody at 10 hours a week? And you guys like my writing, by the way? I think I write better with this thing, with my mouse than so 10 hours a week at, let's just say $8 an hour. All right, that's minimum wage. So it's going to cost you $80 a week. So it's going to cost you $320 a month. All right. So to remove this, so if it's 10 hours a week, and all they did, I'm going to go back. All they did was the 80%. And it's going to. And are you going to have to spend time training? Yes. Are you going to have to spend time showing them how to do it? Yes. Might you find somebody that was in the real estate business that doesn't want to work full time? Yes. Now, if you start them at 10 hours a week, like, listen, I want to start you at 10 hours a week, $8 an hour. As we grow, when we get busier and we have more money coming in the door, I'd like to maybe go to 20 hours a week, and maybe go to 30 hours a week, and maybe maybe you hire more people, and you go, all right, as a recruiting platform, I have a person in place that's going to do this, and this for you. You don't have to do it anymore. It's an attractive platform to have somebody in place to do the stuff that people don't like to do. So in your interview process, you go, hey, what don't you like to do? Well, I hate to send up. I love to I like to create the postcards, but I know it doesn't make me any money. But I love the part when somebody sends them out for me, and then I get the calls coming in. Perfect. I'll have somebody design a postcard for you. I'll get your approval, and then we'll send them out to your list. Sound good? Perfect. Something like that. So for $320 a month, I have somebody working with just 10 hours on the stuff that I hate doing, or taking some stuff off my plate, to let me go home at night at 5 or 6 o'clock so I can enjoy my family, or take those 8 or 9 o'clock phone calls from people that why I'm enjoying time with my family. Whatever it is, you can have. Put it out there. Somebody will respond and go, I want to do that, and that's the frog, right? Like that's my schedule right now. I'm working this job, or I'm doing this, or I can't work right now because my husband does this and that, whatever. But I can work from home, or I can come in these hours, like from 6 to 10 at night, or I can, whatever it is. You guys kind of get that? Does that answer that question? It doesn't have to be, and that was my mindset, is I got to hire somebody that's 40 hours a week. That's just flat out what it is. That's what everybody works. No, 10, 12, 15, 30, whatever it is. She's working Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. So we just sat down this morning and go, all right, on Tuesdays you're going to do this, Thursdays you're going to do this, Fridays you're going to do this. Perfect. And then she's going to grow, and then if she has another day that she opens up, or we don't have something for one, trust me, we're going to, with my 6 businesses, I always have something for her to do or learn on. So does that make sense? All right. Here's the problem that I see most of the time is when you start marketing, and you guys, I know everybody on the call can relate to this. You guys start marketing, you like marketing, and you start going up, and you have business coming in, referrals coming in. I'm working with an agent. I'm getting ready to have this conversation with her, and she might even be on the call. And she's so busy right now, but her marketing, there's no marketing going on, right? So then all of a sudden, you close the deals you have in the pipeline, the buyers you're working with, the sellers you're working with, they all close, and all of a sudden, holy crap, I don't have any business. You start coming down this hill. You're like, crap. So then you start marketing again, and you start going back up the hill. Okay, I got a couple buyers, got a couple sellers, and then okay, great month. Okay, crap. No buyers, no sellers, bad month. Marketing again. So you got this roller coaster. So what if you remove this part right here, all this in here, because you have somebody that you're paying $320 a month, 10 hours a week, to, that's doing this stuff, this marketing stuff, calling past clients, staying in touch with past clients, calling back your leads that come in, calling sellers to give them weekly updates, and asking for referrals. Hey, who have you talked to that might be thinking about selling their home? Putting up sign writers, calling back the leads from the sign writers, calling back all this stuff. Do you think that you would go, this thing would just keep going and then going and going, and you just keep going and going and going, and it would never end, right? Because all this stuff's being done for you. And that's what I'm trying to get across. So it's not fun. This part of the roller coaster is not fun. Going up's the scary part. Coming back down is like, oh crap, and then you go back up again. So we don't want these pictures anymore. It's not fun, right? So when should you get an assistant? At a certain units per month? When I'm too busy? Like, here's the thing: is I had this discussion the other day. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go out and recruit the best quarterback for the NFL we can find after I win the Super Bowl. I'm going to go out and buy the best race car, the best, what's the engine for the NASCAR? Who's the guy? Roush engine?
Roush
whatever.
Racing, right?
Roush Racing. I'm going to go out and buy one of them motors as soon as we win the Indy 500. Nah, that ain't going to happen, man. So you got to put that person in place 10, 20 hours a week to get you to where that roller coaster's going up and it keeps going, and the stuff that's being done keeps getting done as you grow with units per month, as you grow with buyers, sellers, stuff in the pipeline. We know that stuff doesn't close as fast right now. There's a lot of stuff going on, right? Short sales, foreclosures, estate sales. I mean, the more we put in the pipeline, I mean, the more we have to deal with, right? We got more buyers, we got more sellers, we got all this stuff. So we need to have somebody filter some of this stuff. Not only that, keep this stuff going for us, all right? Here's the tough question you need to ask yourself, and I asked the guy that was here today. It's like, we all have an assistant. Can you look at your assistant? If not, guess what? You are the assistant. Tough, right? I can't afford one. The problem is you cannot not afford one right now, because if you're wondering, okay, I have 10 things, 20 things, 30 things, 100 things to do. I have all this stuff going on around. I don't have anything going on. One, okay, then figure out, do the exercise and go, okay, if I do these 3 things over the next 90 days, I'm going to be out of business. Then I'm telling you, you will have business. Now you're going to go, okay, now I need to get somebody in place to keep so I can still do these 3 things. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
It's an important message there. All right. Which comes first, success or the assistant?
I like the chicken or the egg. I like it.
I know. It's funny, isn't it? All right. So good assistants are free. I mean, this kind of goes hand in hand. But listen, if you have a good assistant, they bring you money, right? They bring you buyers. They bring you more listings. They bring you referrals from your listings. They bring you referrals from your buyers because you have an amazing contact communication system going on, database management system. She could be nothing but a database manager, picking up the phone and calling every single day. Hey, call our past clients, call our current clients, call our sellers, give them updates every week. If that's all she did for 10 hours a day, for even 1 day a week, whatever. So yeah, and we one of the things you'll hear me say is learn how to write small checks to cash big checks. If we can write a $320 check, and I'm just using 10 hours at $8, to cash a 1,000. Okay, let's just break it down to really small terms. If we can write a $320 check to cash a $500 check,
I'm in.
would you do that?
Heck yes. I will trade you $3.20 for $5 bill. I would do it until you told me you wouldn't do it any longer.
Until the machine broke, right?
Until the machine broke. That's it.
until I wouldn't spit out any more $5 bills. So, like, I mean, think about that. So if they're not, it's easy to do the numbers, okay? I'm spending this much money. Are they bringing me in that much plus? I mean, most of the time, this right here will bring you in 5. You can add a 0 to it, right? Per month. I mean, how much is one deal worth for the average agent? 1,000, like say it's $100,000. I'm a $100,000 loan size, $3,000 a month, right? So if I have an assistant that brings me in 1 deal a month, and I'm paying them $1,000 a month, Paul, would you take that deal? I'm paying $1,000 and getting $3,000.
Yeah. Again, until the machine freaking broke.
Until the machine. Yeah, all right. Just, I mean, I tell you, man, it's hard. It's easy to talk about it. It's easy to go, yeah, whatever. Okay, I get it. But it's hard. It's hard to write that first $320 check, right? So what does your assistant do? That's the thing. Answer all phone calls, check your emails, make your lunch, make your coffee, all the mailings, put out fires, put your leads in your computer every morning. Everything that I don't want to, all my frogs, right? Made that pretty clear, right? So what do you do? Video postcards, video with your referral partners, call CPAs, financial planners, teach classes at real estate offices or CPA, financial, whatever, marketing, planning, not doing if you're not doing it, webinars, calling your leads, presentations, masterminding with other like-minded, like right here would be BNI. This would be, I don't know how many times that real estate agents are like, have you guys ever heard the term borrow listings? I mean, Paul, I teach this all the time. It's like
it's a strategy that I teach on a daily basis.
Oh, God, it's amazing. It's like, so I had an agent go, what do you mean borrow listings? Well, I have agents that do open houses at other people's listings. I have agents that borrow listings and market them in our complete property marketing system. And they're going out to all these things. So then when they go in, they have something to share. But not only that, they have all these sellers that they're getting their home marketed. So it's a win-win for the seller. It's a win-win for the agent that has the listing. And it's a win-win for the new agent because they're having buyer leads coming in. I mean, what if you walked up to an agent and said, hey, you mind if I put some sign writers on all your listings with the text code, so when people text for information, they come in. Would you mind if I do that? I see you don't have any on all your listings. If they say no, what do? You go to the next one and go, hey, do you mind if I put sign writers up on your listings to see if I can get some buyer leads coming in? And then if a buyer buys your home, then, of course, boom. I mean, will they do it? I don't know.
I'll tell you,
if they say yes,
it's
great.
One of the best things that I've taught several newbie real estate agents that are just brand new into the business, and you know, they don't have a reputation, they don't have a lot of people, they don't have, you know, previous sales behind them to be able to show sellers what they do. And so what they're doing, and one of the things I've taught them, you know, hey, go to some of the veterans in your office. Can I borrow what you need to do is start getting people to know who you are and you know, start with some buyers. So can I borrow your listing? Make a Craigslist ad for the listing and then hammer every single lead that comes through on it. Do an open house for the agents on a weekend. You know, trust me, the listing agent doesn't want to have to be there every weekend, so pick a weekend that she doesn't have one and get in there and do an open house for them. They're not going to be upset for you doing an open house.
No. Oh, and they will welcome you. I can't even tell you how many agents are doing open houses religiously. They do 2 on Sundays, and how many buyers they're working with right now on other people's listings, on other agents' listings. And I mean, it's like if you want to be successful, you got to work on Sundays at first. Yes. Can somebody else do the open house for you and gather buyer leads? Going back to the 80-20, is it your 20 or is it your 80? That's what you have to ask. What if you said, hey, listen, I'll bring you on board. I'll give you $8 an hour. And if you go to this open house for me and take buyer leads, and here's the scripts that you say, here's what you do. You get their information. You let them know who you are. You're part of the team. And every deal that we close together, I'll give you $100 or $200 or $300, whatever the average commission is in your area. You think they'd be okay with that? I mean, my head's spinning a little bit myself because how many open houses could you have in one weekend? Depends on how many people you can get to do them, right? You have part-time people. Hey, listen, I only want you to work on Sundays between 1 and 3 and 5 and what is it? 1 and 3 and or maybe 11 to 1 and 3 to 5, whatever the hours of the open house, or just do one from 1 to 3, and you have 20 of them going on all over the place. And say you paid, okay, this just kills me right here, okay? So 2 hours times 10 is $20. I really didn't need a calculator for that. Times 10 people, so $200 a month, or $200 a weekend. I have 10 people at 10 different open houses, gathering people that come in, their names and addresses, and talking with buyers, maybe current neighbors. And if you're using all the tool systems and strategies that we've taught you with the QR codes and the text codes and all this stuff at these open houses, might you get another listing? Might you get a couple buyers? I can tell you you'll get buyers because I have agents that are killing it right now with high-end buyers. Now, do you do a $50,000 home open house or do you do a $300,000 home open house? Which one do you do? Which one are you going to do, Paul?
Both. That's not what you wanted to hear, but I'm doing both.
No, that's not what I wanted to hear, man. That's not what I want to do. I'm going to do
300,000. Absolutely.
Pick your poison, right?
Absolutely.
So make more money. Yeah. So that's you know, I might actually do that, Paul. I might it just sounds too easy. You know, it's amazing the ideas I come up with you know, when we're talking about this stuff. So anyway, masterminding with other like-minded people. Are you meeting with other top agents in your area and going, hey, what's working, what's not? They will tell you, because you know what? There's so much business to go around. You want to work with somebody that's got the abundance mentality. Get rid of the scarcity mentality. If an agent says, I ain't sharing any of my secrets with you, not the right person. Can you find out what their secrets are? Absolutely. Have somebody go to one of their open houses. Have somebody check out their websites and Facebook pages. See what they're putting. There's no secrets. It's just getting on their mailing list, finding out what they're sending out. I mean, it's just not that difficult. So why not meet with like-minded people that are crushing it right now? I mean, if it was to me and you'd drop me off in a helicopter, it's like, Scott, you need to be successful in the real estate business. What are you going to do? I'd go find the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 agent in town, and go, hey, man, do you mind sharing with me what you're doing or how you got to where I ask that question to top agents all the time, and I go, and I'll tell you what one agent said. I go, why are you able to do so much? What's your what's the one secret? She goes, I call people back. I go, come on, it's not that simple. Oh, no, really it is. I'm the first one to call people back. I always call them back no matter when it is. Now, my question to her was, do you have to be the one calling them back? She's like, no, probably not. Could somebody else help you with that phone call? Absolutely. Okay, we'll talk about that more later. All right, and I only do the things that I want, that I'm good at, and that makes me money, right? Number one there. But I'm a control freak. That's what I hear all the time. Paul, do you hear this ever? Does this guy make more money right here, this guy, or does this guy make more money? The Boston Pops, the guy that does this guy even play any instruments? I don't even know.
He probably can play every instrument in the board, but he doesn't have to do it himself. He realizes that the sound is 10 times better if he has people to play those instruments for him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, doing this class just gives me, I could do this every week and still get something out of this class.
The 80-20 class, yep.
I'm telling you, man, I'm just like going, okay, I got some stuff to do after go to this class. Look, so let me ask you something. Is this a process or an event? This is a tough one for most. I mean, when you stick your hand on that hot pan, and do you think about it and go, it's kind of hot. Should I remove my hand from this hot pan? So my question to you is, do you want to be in business in 90 days? Do you want to make a lot of money and do it with something you're good at and you love doing?
Steve just posted a really great thing, and I haven't heard it said better than this, Scott. He said, my job is to work myself out of a job by hiring people who do it better than me.
I love that, man. I love that. Thanks, Steve, for sharing that. That gives me chills, dude. That's exactly what you need to be doing. 24/7. Awesome. Great job. All right. So I don't go to Disney. I live there because literally if you're doing what you love that you're good at, if you email me at 11:30 at night, and please don't, just have respect for that, but I'm just saying, I love this stuff. I love being on class with you guys. I love that you come here every Tuesday and share this time with Paul and I. Dude, I feel like I'm at Disney every single week because I've met some amazing people. I mean, Paul, the last event we had, there's guys that are just, amazing, unbelievably good at what they do. I wouldn't be able to work with Paul if I wasn't passionate about this stuff and doing this stuff. I wouldn't be able to spend time with Paul. It was just an amazing guy, So who I want to work with, where I want to work, because do you have to be any one place if you have, we just talked about the open house strategy. Do you have to be at the open house? Can you be on vacation and still have 10 open houses going with buyer leads coming in and seller leads coming in? Isn't that scary, man? That's freaky. Do what I want? I do what I want when I want it. Meet incredible people. It's just amazing. All while generating an income I could never dream of, because I've chose to focus on the 3 things, not 1, 2, and 3, but 1, 1, and 1. That is, if I don't do those, I'm not going to be in business in 90 days, and I find other people to do the rest for me, all right? Or with me, not for me, with me, right? So all because I take the stance, this is what I love doing, and I am able to produce all of these results. Right here, right now, today, you're going to make a choice, and this is the tough choice you have to make. Do what I don't like, and I'm just going to circle this for you. I'm going to put parentheses around this, not very good ones. Do what I don't like and let that keep me prisoner, or do what I love and live at Disney with us. It's really just a choice. And I would love to see you guys at Disney every single day. I'm working with some of you guys, and it's just been an amazing ride so far, and I just can't wait to see it in another 6 months. And good stuff, man. So will this work for you? Absolutely, it works for everybody. We're not special people. We just do special things. We learn to do the 1, 1, and 1, and we find other people that like to do their 1, 1, and 1. If you find those people and put them, you guys have heard the phrase, put the right people in the right seats on the right bus. Not just the right seats, but in the right bus, and you'll have an amazing life. And we do. Make sure you work Make sure when you work, you are doing good stuff. Here's the, and I'm going to finish up with these couple things here. We're running out of time. I appreciate you guys hanging with me. So here's where most people fall in. They escape the news, TV most. I'm going to ask you to remove this stuff from your life for a little bit. Remove the news. It's negative news. Remove the TV. I mean, I watched American Idol and X Factor and stuff like that. Love that stuff. But if this causes fear, resentment, I can't do it, that little guy on my shoulder, wasteful actions, creative avoidance, email, negative forums, this isn't going to work, talking to other people. Hey, if you reach out and go, hey, have you done that open house strategy that's got talked about? Yeah, man, open houses suck. They're just a waste of time, and the only people that stop by are the neighbors. Okay? Frustration, anger, disappointment, Scott sucks. I can't believe he told me to try that, and it doesn't work. Feelings of failure. You go back to escape again, right? Well, what if you hang around cool people, you do the right actions, you have positive expectancy, right mind, I can do it. You hang around people that go, oh, man, those things are awesome, and, man, I'll support you. Let me know how I can help you. And you work with the right people and you have the right group of people in your mindset. Positive results, encouragement. Oh, my God, I had a buyer come in and I got a buyer lead from it, and I'm working with them now, and they're going to buy this, and they referred me their friend, and that works with them. And now, I mean, I'm telling you, will everything work? If you work at it well, if you have the right actions and right expectations and you spend the time doing it. Now, if you do one open house this Sunday, is it going to work? I don't know. You might have picked the wrong house, the wrong street, at the wrong time. I don't know. Maybe that's just, I don't know. Who knows? But if you consistently try, I can tell you for a fact that people that do them, and I'm focusing a little bit too much on the open house strategy, but how to have the right mind. Don't compare yourself to others. This is a big one. Don't compete against them. Just be yourself. Associate with like-minded people. Ignore haters. Get rid of them. Get them out of your life, and there's a lot of them out there. It's tough. Some of them are really good friends of mine. I just don't hang around them anymore because they're haters. Build a success library. Start taking notes of what worked, what didn't. Fill your head with good stuff, like Crush It book. I'm telling you, that thing gives me chills just thinking about it. Go listen to that book today. You will have so much positive energy going from that guy. He's just a wealth of knowledge. There's an endless source of clients. Know that. Have the abundance mentality. Share with people what you're doing and the success that you're having, because trust me, they will have not seen this class. They're not going to be able to compete against you because they're not doing anything. They're going to be hanging around the haters. They're going to be back here at this thing going, whatever, escape. I'm going to go watch the news. I'm going to play on Facebook. See, and I got fear, resentment. I can't do it. Wasteful actions. Never work for me. Frustration. Screw it. I'm out of this business. Feeling of failure. Back to the escape, right? Boom. That's all I got for you guys.
Scott, you are the man. You always bring it, my brother, and this is such an appropriate thing for everybody on the call. If you can honestly look at your business, break it down to everything that you do on a day-to-day basis, and pick a couple of the things that you know that if you didn't do this today, if this did not get done, and it absolutely has to be the tasks that if they don't get done, you're out of business. If it's just, oh, well, I gotta organize my file cabinet each week. Really? That's not one of the things that's going to keep you from going out of business, but not following up with your referrals and not checking in with yourself. Think about the things in an honest way and know that of the things that you've got, if I focus on these, this is what I like doing. That's what you're good at, quite frankly. That's why you chose them to be the most important things. It's just the way our psychology works. And those are the things that are going to make you the most amount of money. If you can do that, your business will change. It's a guarantee, and I don't use that word very lightly.
Yeah, Lou asked, and Debbie, I'll get your question here in just 2 seconds, but Lou asked first, he said, if I could automate more of the paperwork processing. Lou, we have a great class for you, and I'm going to call her to see if she'll do the class next week for us. She is a master. She teaches like a whole office, huge, like a whole board, how to go paperless. She will put on an amazing class. So, Lou, I will try and get her on the class next week. Remember that one we did a couple months ago? That was an amazing class. So,
Scotty, can you throw up that slide that showed the first book and the author's name again, the How to Crush It?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's his name's Gary Vaynerchuk. Oh, where we go here? 1 second here. Do you want to keep the annotations? No, discard. All right, here we go. It's that one right there. So Debbie says, how do I overcome the fact that in Seattle only licensed agents can open up a listed property? How can I have assistants hold my opens? Here's what I would do is in Michigan, and you'd have to check with the Seattle board. In Michigan, you have to be licensed, but you don't have to pay the dues. You can be an assistant of a broker, have access to the MLS, and there's some other stuff you can do with. You don't have to pay any dues. There's no board fees. You can be a licensed assistant. So they'd have to go and get licensed, which should be pretty easy. I haven't had anybody have any issues with that. So that way, I would just check with your board and say, hey, what can I do? What can I do if I have a licensed assistant? And and that's every board is different. But I would be curious to know on that, Debbie, if you want to. Oh, and one last thing, if you guys are on here, I appreciate you guys hanging with me. If you have not, I would love to hear like some of you guys that are taking action on this. So if you go to facebook.com/groups/agent mastermind, and just go in there and just say, hey, I'm doing this, I'm going to do it, commit to it, and whether it's this week, next month, next year, whatever, just commit to doing it, because I would love to see some of you guys at Disney with us, of course.
For a 2-week period of time. Just try it for a real
2 weeks. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And let us know.
So,
post on the Agent Mastermind. Good, bad, or indifferent. What you're thinking.
Yeah.
How's it going for you? Post to us. What are the things that you've chosen as your 20%, so that others can maybe get a good idea of, hey, I can't figure out my 20%. But if you post it, then they'll get an idea of what others are saying is there. Oh, okay, yeah, what, that makes sense. That can be my 20% too, and give it a real, honest to goodness. The old term, but give it the old college try.
Yep. So I messed that up there. There you go. Facebook.com. There's the groups, and then the other thing is the Gary Vaynerchuk. Good book, man. You got to check that out. That is amazing. Whoops. That is amazing. So Crush It by Gary Vay. Yeah, if you just Google Gary Vay, Ron said that. And Ron, hey, Ron, we're not trying to bash your radio. Dude, your radio station's positive. So if you're in Ron Siegel's area, get on his radio station. He's got a good one.
Southern California, right in Orange County.
I have contacted the original artist, sent me to his website video, not access to the PowerPoint. Yeah, we can help James out there. Hey, James, just go to shoot me a private message on Facebook, and I'll make sure you get taken care of, buddy. St. Clement, Dana Point. Okay, excellent. All right, Paul, man, we had an amazing group today. I hope you guys got something out of this. I hope you take action and do it. And
class was recorded. PowerPoint will be available. If you'd like access, simply contact the loan professional who invited you today. They'll be able to get you access to the recording from this class and some of the past other classes. And that we're all here together. We talk a lot about referral partnerships, and that's what we're all here for, is to grow each other's business. The loan professionals want to bring you value and content and give you things that can help you in their businesses. And they're hoping that it can help them in their business on the back end. So you get in touch with your loan pro.
Loan professional? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, contact loan professional. They sent you here to get a copy of the recording, copy of the PowerPoint. Love to see you guys in the group saying, I'm in, I'm doing this, I'm going to take advantage of this, and just it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough letting go of some stuff. It's going to, you got to go through the interviewing process. You got to find somebody you like. Go with your gut feeling. Slow to hire, quick to fire. Okay. My little rule, and I'll leave you with a laugh, Paul. You know this one. If you wake up 3 mornings in a row and you're thinking about the person and not sleeping with them, they need to go. All right. You're thinking about them because
that's true.
Ruining your day, they need to go. All right.
Yep.
So,
Scotty, great stuff once again, my friend. Folks, we look forward to seeing you right here, same time, same place, next Tuesday. Have a phenomenal week. Put this into practice, change your business, and by all means, head over to the Agent Mastermind page group on Facebook and let us know how you're doing and what you've come up with and what's working for you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, man. Paul, appreciate you, brother.
Have a great day, brother.
Take care. Bye-bye.